Now in today's video, it's going to be all about the Timeshift option with the newly released Insta360 Ace Pro 2. And now I'm just going to clip over to the interface on the Ace Pro 2 just to show you how to locate it and also go over the options which it offers. So to find the Timeshift option on the Ace Pro 2, just hit the bottom left icon there and you'll scroll across until you get to Timeshift. Now when you select Timeshift on the Ace Pro 2, we haven't got much options there like we have on the Action 5 Pro, because on the Action 5 Pro we've got a few options there going from times 2, times 5, 10, 15 and then times 30. Now on the Ace Pro 2, if you just hit the resolutions there, we can only be in 4K 30 as you can see, and on the left the stabilization mode's either standard, low or off. In this test it's going to be set to standard. And then the aspect ratio can be changed to 4.3 or 16.9. And then you've got an option with the duration there, and that can be set right to 3 hours. But I like to keep it on infinite, that way I'm in control of the time there. And in the bottom right of the screen, you can set your field of view. We can have Mega, Ultra, D-Warp or Linear. On this particular Timeshift, we'll keep it in D-Warp. So the settings will be 4K 30 and in D-Warp. Now let's get to the Timeshift. Here we go. So now that I've got the settings dialed in on the Ace Pro 2, and as you can see I've attached it to the chest harness, that way I'm going to get more of a fair test than if it was to be held on a tripod, because if I'm holding it with a tripod and walking doing the Timeshift, you might see some wobble in there, which I really don't want. So it's set to standard. The field of view's in D-Warp and we're at 4K 30. So now let's hit the Timeshift and see how smooth it runs. Here we go. So what did you think to the smoothness on that Timeshift there? When I've reviewed it back, it looks a lot like the Action 5 Pros. It's between that times 15 and times 30. If I could put a number on it there, it'd be a times 20. As I've said, you're very limited with the options, but there hasn't been that many firmware updates with the Ace Pro 2 yet. So I think in future firmware updates we're going to see a lot more options there with that Timeshift. And also with the Timeshift option there, you can point the camera lens towards a subject, keep that subject in center frame, steadily walk around it, and then the software inside will put that together just as it does in like an Hyperlapse. This is called Timeshift for instance, and then we can see how smooth that footage is. So I've come across this bench here in the woods. I'm going to keep that bench center frame whilst I slowly walk around it, and then let's just see how smooth that footage is while circling it. Here we go. So as you've just seen there with the bench, how smooth is that footage whilst I'm rotating around it? It's rather fast, I know, but I've only just seen that there's a setting on this and you can only see it while you're recording. That's why previously you couldn't see it in the menu on the interface. So while you're recording the Timeshift, in the bottom left you can just tap an icon and then it puts it in real time or sped up. So now I'll show you that picnic bench in real time. And when you're filming it in real time, there's nothing really interesting. It's just like I'm filming, as you're seeing now, in a standard filming mode. So when it's sped up, it's a lot better and a lot more interesting. So what's your thoughts on that Timeshift today? As you've seen, it's very stable. Although it is a little bit quick, I would like to see a future firmware update from Insta360 with the Ace Pro 2 that I can control the speed there like I can with the Action 5 Pro on the Action 5 Pro's Hyperlapse. Again, the Ace Pro 2 is called Timeshift, and I'd like to see a lot more options there in future firmware updates. So when you're doing a time shift with the Ace Pro 2, just be mindful where you're walking, because if you've got a straight long path with twists and turns and stiles and gates there and hopping over certain obstacles, it's going to be very messy and choppy, because we haven't got much alterations in the time there like we have with the Action 5 Pro, starting off at ×2, then to 5, the 10, the 15 and the 30 options, so you can slow it down or speed it up. But with Ace Pro 2 we're just stuck at either real time, which would look really boring. It's just like filming normal filming mode and walking, so it would take forever. Just for an example, the path that you've just seen me walking on, that took me around 15 minutes to walk, but it's literally puts it all together within seconds, and it's nice and smooth there. So I'd hope for future firmware updates with the Ace Pro 2 that we'll see a lot more options there, especially with the time shift. And also on the time shift option, you get a little crosshair, so you can center frame just like I did earlier, that picnic bench, slowly walk around the object, and then the software stitches that all together as you've seen. You can either do it in real time or sped up. Now that sped up one is the better option, because as you've seen earlier, when you're walking around it just looks like you're filming in normal filming mode. So on the time shift option there, you can not only perform what we know as an hyperlapse, and that looks great as you've just seen, but as you also just seen, as I circled around that picnic bench, I know it wasn't the most interesting subject, but you can really get creative when you're out and about, especially in cities with old monuments. If you really keep at a steady pace walking around, you'll get some real nice cinematic action there with the people and cars surrounding the monument. Just keep that subject and crosshair center frame and you'll be good to go. So as always, do stay tuned to the channel. There's going to be plenty more videos on the horizon. But for now, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and bye for now.